Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, man. Welcome back to the IDA Kings Video Production channel, man. We back. The weekend was pretty good. Hopefully everybody's weekend was great too, just like mine, relaxing and everything like that. Getting everything ready for the channel and stuff like that as much as I can. In this episode, the first really official episode uh, on the channel, did an intro last video I recorded for y'all, and this is the first official episode right here. Okay, Thursday night. But yeah, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Uh, if you like the channel, support the channel. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification when you know that I upload a new video and everything like that. Let's get right into it, man. We're gonna talk about week 0 and week 1 of the Labor Day weekend for college football. It was a fun weekend. Week 0 was a fun weekend as well. But this week 1 was amazing. It was flat out legendary stuff that happened. Okay, it was the legendary stuff that happened this past weekend. Kansas State during the week 0, Kansas State versus Iowa State was a fun game. Great battle with the quarterbacks. Started off a little slow, but it was raining down in Ireland and stuff like that. But it was a fun game. It was a fun game. It was a really, really competitive game. The defenses started out really, really right, forcing turnovers, forcing different situations that happen on defense, put the offenses in bad situations. Another great game, Hawaii versus Stanford. That game was kind of fun for me. I couldn't believe it. That's like a random game. I was just watching. I couldn't believe it, how good that game was. Hawaii got an upset on Stanford. The freshman quarterback, he ended up getting hurt in the game, but he came back, was slinging it. Redshirt freshman, just slinging the ball all over the place, doing a real good job fighting and competing. But then going into a lot of special games during that day and that weekend, but also going into the week 1, there was a lot of great matchups. College football did a great job scheduling, by the way. They did a fantastic job scheduling. I mean, they scheduled masterful games like Texas and OSU. Couldn't believe we got that matchup. That matchup, especially a rematch from, I believe the quarterfinal or semifinal, the Final Four. In that situation, that was really fun. Ohio State pulled away, later on in that game in the playoffs before leading on and winning the national championship against Notre Dame. But Texas was ranked number 1 at the time. Okay, over Ohio State, who was 3rd. They were behind Texas and Penn State. Penn State's going to be a good team too, by the way. We'll definitely talk about them throughout the season and even in the video a little bit. But they're going to be a great team as well. But yeah, Texas was ranked high. Had Arch Manning there. Man, it was a fun game in Columbus, right? It was really hyped, really advertised. I was a little shocked at it. Overall, I was shocked. I knew the defenses were probably going to be good, but I didn't know they were going to be that good to the point where Texas was going to force Ohio State with most of their drives and in their territory, like at the 5 or 10 yard line. Really, mostly near the 5. Most of those were at the 5. Like 4 or 5 of those drives were at like the 5 yard line and near the goal line, stuff like that. So Texas did a great job overall, in my opinion. The punter was he did a fantastic job. But Ohio State pulled away, I think. Sayin was really good. He was accurate in the game. Sayin was really good. He was accurate. I know he didn't have eye-popping numbers or nothing like that. But there was like 4 drops in that game, too. Jeremiah Smith dropped 2 passes. I was shocked by that. I couldn't believe it. He don't really drop passes. But Texas did a good job on him overall, too, besides those drops. And then Sayin could have hit Jeremiah Smith on that deep route, but he did throw a good route that passed the first down marker, passed the first down sticks to the tight end. He just dropped it near the sideline. I mean, it's inexcusable. But yeah, he did good. Sayin to me did really good. I think the offense is going to open up more, and everything like that. I think that defense was super amazing. They were great, right? They were, to me, really great in that game overall. They did leave some openings, but that happens. They did leave some openings that I thought Arch Manning would capitalize on, because there were a few open receivers overall, which could have changed the game if he completed those passes. But Matt Patricia, the defensive coordinator, the legendary coordinator, right, for New England, when it came to defense and stuff like that, he was flat out amazing in that. Just called a really great game plan as well. Got him rattled, changed different defenses on him. Caleb Downs was great. Basically, the quarterback of the defense, just flat out the defensive line got to him a good time, got max pressure on him, stuff like that. So it was a pretty good, solid game from them. And I think the offense will open up more. It was hard to open up when you're starting at the 5, the 4, the 3, 2, 1 on the goal line in your own territory. I mean, it's hard to open up the game. You got to be careful doing that because you can get safeties, you can cause turnovers that lead to touchdowns. You don't want to play that game, right? You don't never want to play that game. So, especially when your defense is playing that well. Texas, I felt like their defense was great too. Their defense was really good, in my opinion, holding Ohio State to 14 points, right? To me, that's real good. You're going to win a lot of games when you're holding great teams like Ohio State to 14 points. You're going to win most of those games. But I feel like the offense, even though Ohio State's defense was really good, really great, I feel like Texas's offense could have capitalized a little more. They could have used more motion, really. Like Coach Sark, he's the legendary play caller. He was offensive coordinator for Alabama. He's just a great play caller. He was a head coach at USC. Great play calls and stuff like that overall. Great coordinator when it comes to offense. He's a real masterful genius when it comes to offense and knowing what to call, when to call it, and how to call it different situations of football. But he could have did more motion. He probably could have opened it up a little bit better when it came to offense and stuff like that. His play calling, and Texas was moving the ball. They ran the ball real well in that game. But Arch Manning missed some throws, some key throws. I was shocked that he missed. I'll be honest with you. He missed some throws. I think it was like the first play of the game, he missed a throw. It was behind the receiver, open, right? And I was really shocked and couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa, couldn't believe it. I know this is what, I think it was third start. He did play a little bit. He didn't start in big games like that. He was sitting behind Ewers, who's in the NFL playing for the Dolphins right now. But, that's really what happened. But, Arch Manning had some issues. And I know some people are saying some crazy stuff now because there were some things I've read saying that Texas is way better than Ohio State. Texas is going to blow them out. I mean, I didn't know if Texas was going to win or lose the game, but blowing Ohio State out was not going to happen. I knew that because Ohio State's the defending champs, right? They're in Columbus. That just was not going to happen. I don't know what people thought. I knew they lost a lot of great talent to the NFL, but come on now. They're Ohio State for a reason, okay? Come on. They're not going to get blown out, just like Texas. You're not going to blow out Texas when they have all that talent on the team. And even though they had a lot of players go to the NFL as well, you have a lot of talent on the team. You're not going to blow them out. That's crazy. So I didn't understand why some people thought that. Not too many people did, but some people did. I don't understand why. They said they were way better talent-wise, and now all of a sudden things started changing, right? They're starting to say Arch Manning ain't that good now. They're saying Texas is, they overrated. They're saying goofy stuff because Ohio State beat them. They're undermining Ohio State's win, which I'm not going to do that. They were really great defensively. When they were not backed up offensively, there were like 4 different drives where they weren't really backed up like that on the 5 or so. They scored 2 touchdowns in those situations, okay? They moved the ball really well. They even had good running drives, good sustained runs at times, right? Good, a mixture of balance of running and throwing, not doing too much, not saying in bad situations. Their offensive coordinator, I believe, Hartline, who was a receiving coach, who's a great receiver, who was a good receiver in the NFL, I believe. Hartline, I believe, is his last name. Great receiver. He's not offensive coordinator, along with Ryan Day. To me, they didn't do bad. I think they're going to open the game plan up more. They're going to open it up. They're going to let him do more. They're going to give him more on his plate. But I feel like they did good. I feel like Texas will be better. Texas is definitely going to be way better, okay, than what they were. They're going to score way more points. They're going to get better. They still most likely will probably win the SEC. Arch Manning could still win the Heisman too. I mean, one game, especially he got enough time to put more stats up, but also play against some real great competition and be better. That when you win in the SEC, Maybe you win the SEC championship. Maybe you only lose a few games, make the playoffs, put up great numbers. You could still not only win the Heisman, but you could still have a chance to get good seeding to be a national championship contender still. I still believe that in Texas. Ohio State, to me, proved that so far they're the best team in the country. Okay? Especially when it comes to defense, I do see them. Penn State's going to be good too. They're real close. They got Drew Aller back. They got their running backs back. They got most of their players back. So they're up there too. But Ohio State to me so far right now, early on in the season, and I thought they were going to go in maybe higher than 3, maybe 1, but I understand because Texas and Penn State, they got so much talent. So I understood them being 1 and 2 going into the college football season. I can understand that. I didn't really have a problem with that, but Ohio State to me proves so far that they're the best team in the country, right? That game was good. I think Arch Manning is going to be fine, okay? That's another thing people are going to be like, is Arch Manning that good? Is he overrated? You know, is he, like I think Ryan Clark said, he's not a generational talent. Well, I think he is, man. First off, he's a Manning. He's going to figure it out. You got a whole bunch, you got a rich history of people. Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, you know, Archie Manning, man. Come on. They got legendary people who could teach him the game and he's going to learn from. You know, I don't know if he's going to come out this year or next year, but he's going to be fine. When he come out, he's going to be ready to go. I really believe that. He's going to be a great quarterback. I'm not worried about Arch Manning. I'm not worried about Arch. He's going to be fine, okay? He's going to be fine, man. He's going to be perfectly fine. He's going to be great at Texas, okay? He's going to be great, fantastic at Texas, okay? And he's going to have a great career in Texas, and then he's going to go number 1 in the draft or top 5 in the draft. It's going to happen, right? So I believe he'll be ready to go. He's not overrated, okay? Texas is not overrated. They're going to be a great team, all right? They're going to be in the SEC. They're going to be competing for the SEC championship once again like they did last year when they first came into the conference. They're going to be fine. They're going to be perfectly fine, okay? They're going to be perfectly fine. Now, another game that was really, really kind of crazy that I don't know if this other team is going to be fine. It's going to be hard to say they will. FSU versus Alabama. That game was unbelievably good. It was a shocker, not just from the win, but the score and how the game was going, right? When I watched it, I couldn't believe there was one glaring thing. Well, there was 2 glaring things for me, right? There was 2 glaring things that happened. Before I get to that, Lee Corso, shout out to him, legendary. He retired. He called it. He said Florida State was going to beat Alabama. Now, he could have been a little bit biased for that, right? Because he was there as a coach there as well. But Florida State University did something that was shocking. They dominated the line of scrimmage on offense and defense against an Alabama team. That's some rare stuff, man. That's some rare stuff that wasn't happening most of the time during Coach Nick Saban's time there when he was there, okay? I mean, I was shocked by that. Another thing that shocked me was a little bit of the effort. Now, I understand in Florida, let me tell you something. When it's hot, I've been in Florida before, right? When it's hot, it's hot. Whew, it gets sweaty, muggy, all that. It's hot. So I understand it, right? I'm not saying that that could affect the conditioning, that could affect a lot of things, right? So I get it. It could get real muggy, real hot, right? And it could get and it was raining too, but a little bit down there as well. So I get it, but the effort didn't seem like it was there. It seemed like they were more gassed. Seemed like it seemed like they weren't giving as much effort. And I don't know exactly if that was due to the weather or what it is, but it was shocking to see that. Or maybe they played down to the competition, right? That could be another thing. But FSU is going to be better, right? I know last year they had a tough year. They went 2-10. It was a nightmare. They went 0-2. They was in Ireland last year, right? Playing against Georgia Tech, okay? Shout out to Georgia Tech, by the way. They beat Colorado. They're a real good team, too, by the way. Georgia Tech's going to be real good, in my opinion. But they lost to Georgia Tech, and then they came back and lost to Boston College. And head coach Bill O'Brien's first year coaching in college, right? At Boston College. So, as the head coach in Boston College. So that was that. So they went on a downward spiral from there because the year before they were dominant before playing in the bowl game, right? When they got blew out 63-3, I know everyone remembers that. That was a freaking nightmare. They got destroyed, dog walked in that game. It was nasty. But a lot of people went to the NFL. A lot of players went to the NFL. Most of their star players and stuff that was on that team went to the NFL. Rested out and opt out so they can go into the NFL, do training, graduate, all that stuff. But it before that game, they were undefeated. Went to the ACC championship, right? So they're a good program. They're a great program. They're a historically great program, like FSU. So they had a really bad year. 2-10 was nasty. That was so bad, okay? But they came back. They were better. They went into transfer portal. Got a great quarterback, okay? Great quarterback who talks some trash, and I actually like it. I didn't notice until I was watching the game. He said, Nick Saban, he basically said, paraphrasing that, Nick Saban can't save him. Nick Saban can't save him, and no one on that team can stop him. No one on that team can stop him. And he proved them right. He confirmed it in that game. He killed them. He put in a remarkable show and a great show. That was some fantastic stuff I watched. It was amazing. He outplayed Alabama. He put in work. And Alabama also, they were struggling with star players. Man, their star receiver for Alabama dropped multiple passes. I couldn't believe it. Their great left tackle was missing blocks. I mean, it was wild stuff. They couldn't block up front. They couldn't set the tone. They barely was able to run the ball well. It was just a nightmare. They couldn't score more than 17 points. They allowed 31 points. They allowed quarterback run like it's crazy. Now to give credit, though, Nick Saban, Coach Saban, throughout his whole career was dealing with quarterbacks. He had issues with mobile quarterbacks too, though, right? He had big time issues with mobile quarterbacks. He had big issues with the Cam Newtons, right? The Nick Marshalls, right? The Giant Manziels. Even, Joe Burrow has some mobility, especially that last year, right? He, did his thing against them as well. Different Tim Tebow, different mobile quarterbacks gave Coach Nick Saban problems, right? Problems. Being able to be mobile, get outside the pocket, run the ball if necessary, throw different passes to different receivers, right? So he had those issues too. But Coach Caleb DeBoer has had issues against teams that are unranked. He lost like 4 games against unranked teams. Now, I know FSU now is ranked, right? I believe top 15 now. To me, they should be a top 10 team after what they did to Alabama. Okay, and Alabama dropped really bad down, okay, after losing. Shoot. So I understand the loss. Like, it was crazy how the way they lost. One thing to lose, but to me, the way they lost was concerning. Because they got a few other teams that when I looked at the schedule, they got a whole bunch of ranked teams. They got Georgia, they got South Carolina, they got Tennessee, I believe, as well. They got Tennessee, they got they also have LSU and Oklahoma. All those teams are ranked in the top 25. Auburn looks way better. Okay, they look really good. They beat Baylor too, and Baylor's not a bad team either. You got to be careful, Auburn, right? You got to be careful, Auburn too. That's a rivalry game. Auburn is going to be at Auburn against Alabama the end of the year. So the schedule is going to get dark for Alabama. They got to fix things ASAP. That's a team that I'm a little nervous about. Texas, I'm not as nervous, like I said a little earlier, but with Alabama, I'm way more nervous, man. The way they played was not good, especially defensively. That was bad. Offensively, they couldn't block up front. I believe his name is Sampson, I believe, their quarterback who started, who waited his turn. Man, he was getting rushed all over the place. He was getting rushed. He was getting sacked. He was getting under pressure so much he barely had time to process, to see what was going on down the field without being hit, hurried, rushed, sacked. So the offensive line has to be better. The defensive line has to be better. Get more umph and push on that line, right? They got to get more push. The defense has to be way better. The defense last year for Alabama, to me, was not at the standard. They were not up to standard, up to par. They had inconsistencies on defense, and that proved it, right? That showed, right? Their defense was not great all over. So they gotta be better if they want their season to change, and they don't want to go downhill. I'm telling you right now, they gotta make some serious changes to that team. They gotta make serious changes. They have to. They really have to. Okay. That's a big thing, man. That's a big thing. I think Dan Orlovsky said a quote that was kind of interesting. He said, if Nick Saban probably would have kicked most of those players off that team after that performance. Paraphrasing there as well. But that was not the Alabama. We got to be honest. We got to be quite frank. That was not the Alabama that we are used to, that people love, people might hate. But real sport fans love greatness. And that was not up to Alabama standards throughout the history of probably Alabama's program, but especially during Coach Saban's time there, okay? That was not the standard. That was nowhere near. I want to believe in them, but they got to be careful. They got to get better. They got to get better. They have to get better, okay? But FSU, give all the credit to them, though. They were flat out amazing that game. They made the right throws. They made the right big plays. They ran the ball very well. Defense was aggressive, getting after the quarterback. I mean, they were fantastic. And the coach, Gus Malzahn, is the Alabama killer. I'm just going to be honest with you. He's the Alabama killer. Okay, y'all better know y'all history about Coach Gus Malzahn, who's now the new offensive coordinator. The defense coordinator was great, too. Gus Malzahn knows how to dominate Alabama. He's done it so many different times. One of the main times was when he went to the national championship with Auburn as the head coach. I'm telling you, that man was a monster, flat out. And he can do his thing, and he's a great coach. Great at play calling, understand play calls. He's legendary at it, too. Okay? So, I'm telling you, they were amazing. But Alabama needs to get better if they want. Because real talk, they can go 6-6. And if they do that, Coach Caleb DeBoer could be fired. I'm just being honest. And I know that buyout is crazy. I heard the buyout was like a $70 million buyout. But, I mean, they might have to cut their losses. That's a lot of money, though. But they might have to cut their losses. If it goes the way some people think it might go, and I'm scared for it to go, he's going to get fired for sure. He could get fired before the season starts. Okay, he could be fired before the season starts. Another great game. Started off slow, but the defenses were great. A lot of players came back on offense and defense. And this game was LSU and Clemson, okay? LSU and Clemson, that game was pretty fun. I ain't gonna lie. Watching it that night, it was a good time. The defenses were getting after the quarterbacks. Gus Meyer and Cade Klubnik are projected to be ranked in the top 15 in the draft, this upcoming draft, okay? That's me being honest, okay? When it comes to quarterbacks, they're going to be in the top 15, right? If they come out, both of them are seniors, so they'll be out. Depending on what Arch Manning does, and even another great quarterback in Sellers, I love how he plays the game. Depending on what they do, depending on if they stay, or if they go, those two could come out and be the first two quarterbacks picked, depending on what Arch Manning does and what Sellers does. Okay, what the Manning, what he does this year, and if he decides to come out, and if Sellers decides to come out after this year as well. If they don't come out, Gus Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik could be the first two quarterbacks picked in the draft, right? They looked, at first, especially in that first half, they looked off, they looked average because of the defense. Those defenses were great. Those defensive lines were special on both teams. The defenses were great. They were attacking. They were playing the ball, running to the ball. They gave maximum effort. They made the offenses look a little rough, little stagnant, a little spazzed out. But again, that's what great defenses do, right? Defense. They always say, this is a story. If you know sports, you know defense wins championships. All right? That's what they say, and that's the truth. Most of the time, that's going to happen. You got to have a great defense if you want to win at any level, especially at the highest of highest levels, right? Especially in professional sports, you better have the defense. If you don't have the defense, you're going to have a problem anyway. So they did great. But Nussmeier, man, he came back and started getting better, and they figured it out at LSU, right? Then they started outplaying them in the second half. Okay, they started playing them in the second half. Clemson kind of outdid them in the first half. Their defense was really fantastic in that first half. Outdid them in the first. Um, so, but that was a great game. That was a fun game. Okay, that was a fantastic game. Um, LSU proved a lot. They haven't won before this game. They haven't won a season opener since, I believe, Joe Burrow was there 2020. And then some people were saying Brian Kelly was on the highest seat. Coach Brian Kelly was on the hot seat. That was debatable, depending, but maybe next year he would have been more on the hot seat. But some people were saying this year he could be on the hot seat if the season didn't go a certain way. But they won against Clemson, and that was a solid game. That showed me a lot about LSU. I think they're going to be a good team. I think they're going to be a really good team. I think Clemson, they'll come back from it, right? Their conference is not as strong as the Big Ten or SEC. So I think they can still get better. They can get better. They can get way better, and they can do their thing, right? They got a few good teams they play, and they'll get better, man. Now towards the end of the year, they got to play South Carolina. I know there's going to be a few tough games in the middle, but that South Carolina game is gonna, especially I believe in South Carolina, it's gonna be a fun matchup too. That's gonna be a real fun matchup right there. But yeah, I think Clemson and LSU are really good teams. They played against great teams. They played against championship type teams. To me, those teams could be in the playoff as well. I think they could be in the playoff as well. Another game. There was a lot of great games again. Like I said, man, a lot of great players. But another great game. Another game that I want to talk about mainly because of the quarterback, right? Is South Carolina, Virginia Tech. Sellers is really, really good, right? He finds a way to win, but he is really good. He's mobile. He's dynamic. He's electrifying. He's special, okay, for South Carolina. I saw him his redshirt freshman year last season, Sellers. That guy was great. I think he only missed like one game or something because of injury or whatever, but this guy is special, man. This guy can play football. This guy is a quarterback. He makes a lot of throws really good, but he also can run. He's also mobile. He also extends plays. He also gets a lot of yards, man. He's a special quarterback. He showed that. They had their ups and downs. That first drive was great against Virginia Tech. They stalled out. Virginia Tech was fighting, was competing, right? Was competing hard against South Carolina. Okay. Competing hard against South Carolina. I feel like Virginia Tech's quarterback, if he was better, South Carolina would have been in more trouble against Virginia Tech if Virginia Tech's quarterback was better. I'll be honest, right? He wasn't playing as well. I think he was like 15 for 35 or something like that. Crazy work. And he had like 2 interceptions. But Sellers, man, they got better. What really changed the game was the kickoff return. But before that kickoff return, they had a kickoff return. There was a penalty on Virginia Tech. South Carolina's head coach, Beamer, came back and said, I'm gonna accept the penalty. I'm gonna make him re-kick it, right? And that was magical because it makes sense. Because then it puts him in a position where you're re-kicking. He found out that there was the people that were on the back end were linemen. They weren't as fast, right? Which again, you want someone as quick as possible in that back end too, including like the putter, to make sure that you don't give up that touchdown on the back end, and be able to go at angles correctly and still match and meet them with the speed at the angle. So they didn't do that. They had like 3 linemen back there, and they outran them, got the ball back, started going in, getting key blocks, and they got the touchdown. That was electrifying, and that changed the game. That changed the game right there. After that, they just started making plays, and it was over. All right, it was over at that point. You know what I'm saying? So South Carolina was really great. They can win the SEC. They have a chance to win the SEC. They're a great team like that. They play Alabama in South Carolina. The way Alabama looked, I don't know how they're going to beat this South Carolina team. I really don't. But South Carolina, I'm telling you, there's people that say, hey, they could be a good story. They can mess around and win at ACC. I can see why. I saw why in that game right there. I saw exactly why, because they got a quarterback that can win the Heisman this year, and he could be the first quarterback taken in the draft this year or next year, because he's a redshirt sophomore. He still has eligibility, right? If he wants to, but he's gonna be playing well. He probably gonna leave this year or next year. He probably not gonna be a redshirt senior. Okay, but that game was really good too. Here's another game. This game kind of was interesting. I mean, there was a lot of stars out, a lot of legends out in this game. I'm telling you, man, it was Miami versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame came off of a magical run after losing to Northern Illinois. A lot of people thought their season was done after they lost to him, right? After they lost to him, they thought, oh my goodness, it was over. I know they beat Texas A&M, who was ranked, who had a good year last year, and who's ranked now, but they beat them. I believe they were at Texas A&M, and they played Northern Illinois at home. And when they lost to them, people thought it was flat out over. They were done. They went on a historical run after that game. They went on one of the most magical runs you're probably going to see in college football. Okay? There's a lot of magical runs throughout the history. That was definitely one of them that you could compare to all the other magical runs in history of college football. Okay? That's the truth. And that's what they did. They did that. They came up and did that year and went all the way to the national championship game and lost to Ohio State. They were getting blown out in that game, but they caught back up, ran hard, right? And they did a good job on Jeremiah Smith now. They did a great job on Jeremiah Smith, just like Texas did too, but in the game before the national championship, okay, against Ohio State. But that's where we coming into right now, because Miami was doing some magical things with Ward now, who's the number one pick for the Tennessee Titans, okay, who's going to start week 1, right? So they had a great year, right? Miami was having a great year. They had their ups and downs, especially defensively, man. Defensively, they really was having troubles. And they had to come back. They had to outthrow opponents and all that stuff, right? So it makes a lot of sense, right? He did a great job, but Miami was coming in. They felt like they had a disappointing year because they felt like they could have made it, and they could have. They started out like 9-0, and then they lost a few games in a row. Lost to Georgia Tech, lost to Syracuse, okay? They lost some clutch games that they should not have lost down the stretch of the season, right? That's how SMU and Clemson got into the ACC championship game, which both of them ended up going to the playoffs, right? But Miami has a lot. Carson Beck came from Georgia, okay? He came from Georgia, the UGA, which Georgia, man, I ain't gonna lie. I know they played a team that wasn't, talent-wise, wasn't up to Georgia's level, right? But Georgia, I think, is going to be a good team, too. They're going to be a real great team, man. They got a lot of great players. Their quarterback's not bad at all. He can do his thing, right? He's good, too, man. Go check out Georgia, too. He's going to be good. But listen, I'm telling you right now, with him going back to Miami, he was the scapegoat. He was only 10% of the problem at Georgia, in my opinion. I'm being honest. And I watched a lot of their games. The receivers weren't getting open. They were dropping passes. Okay, the running game wasn't as up to par as it could have been. Carson Beck felt like he had to push the ball probably more. Had a few more turnovers than he would like. But he came to Miami. I think he's going to be better. And they showed, right? Miami and Notre Dame was a fun game. Carson Beck he looked like the Carson Beck that when he started a few years ago, right, 2 years ago, he looked like that Carson Beck. That Carson Beck that looked like a first-round draft pick quarterback. All right, made all the throws, made all the great reads, got the ball out on time, made the right throws, dissected the defense really, really well, right? And so that's what he looked like, all right? The Miami team looked balanced. They looked real good. The defense, to me, looked way better than they did last year. They looked way better. Notre Dame was fighting. They were competing. All right. Their freshman quarterback, which there's a lot of great freshman quarterbacks this year. I'm not gonna lie to you. Whether they're redshirting, whether they're true freshmen, right? They're looking good right now. They're looking good. their true freshman quarterback, Carr, I believe his last name, to me, in that environment, he competed. He made the right throws. He was he was accurate. He he ran the operation to me as well as you could in that environment, and he competed, man. He competed his butt off. He did his thing, right? He's good. But Notre Dame was competing, and they started pulling and getting closer, right? And then Miami kicked that field goal, and then the game was history from there. They lost the game. But Notre Dame, I do believe they'll be back. They'll be fine, right? Now, I know they play Texas A&M in Notre Dame. Now, if they lose this game, there are a lot of people saying that's going to be an elimination game, especially with not having ranked teams. I can understand people thinking that way, right? I can understand them thinking that way. So Notre Dame, to me, is probably going to have to win this game and probably win out after losing to a tough game in Miami, by the way, losing a tough game. And I believe Notre Dame will figure it out. I think they'll win the rest of their games, I think, most likely. The only other game I see they could lose, again, is Texas A&M, which Texas A&M I think is going to be good, too. Reed did a great job last year as a true freshman. Coming in, man, basically was a hero, especially against LSU. He was a superhero against LSU. But last year, but I'm telling you, I really, truly, truly believe that Notre Dame will figure it out and win. That's what they do. They're clutch in that regard. They're legendary. They're historic. Since Coach Freeman's been coaching there as a head coach, they win a lot of clutch big games. They win a lot of games against ranked teams. They've had their laws against teams that are not ranked. They've had their laws against teams that are not. It seems like they might play down to the competition, right? But when it comes to big moments against big competition, ranked teams, big time players on them opposite teams, they get it going and they win a lot of those games. So I as long as Notre Dame don't play down to their competition throughout most of the season, they're going to be fine. They're probably most likely going to make the playoff too. They're going to be perfectly fine. But I'm telling you, Miami looks way better. Miami looks like a good team. The U could be back now. The U was real good last year. They could be better next year. The U, maybe that's legendary stuff. That's historical stuff, Miami, right? They could get back to where they were back at throughout history. So they're going to be a better team. They could mess around and win the ACC too, right? They get past the Clemson's, SMU's and stuff, Georgia Tech, whatever. I think they could for sure. And FSU, remember, FSU is a tough team that's going to be tough. They could win the ACC as well. Miami could win that ACC championship and win that conference. Okay, make the playoff this year. I'm telling you right now that could happen for sure. Okay, this next game, I'm gonna tell you about really quickly. Right, this game was pretty wild. It was lopsided. After the opening drive, it went downhill. It was TCU versus North Carolina, right? TCU, to bring it full circle, right? TCU, Bill Bellichack, this is his first year coaching in college as a head coach, right? First year coaching. He was at New England. We all know Bill Bellichack. If you don't know Bill Belichick, you might not. Come on, man. He a legend. Even people who don't watch a lot of sports know who Bill Belichick is. Coach Bill Bellichack. One of, if not the greatest head coaches of all time, no matter the sport, okay? Legendary, magical, special. Played against a TCU team that a few years ago when Coach Sanders, who we all know Coach Sanders, he's fantastic, he's legendary, he's great at coaching, and he was one of the best. If he's not the best player in the NFL history, he's one of the best players in NFL history, okay? That's how special Coach Sanders was as a player. Just flat out magical, right? In college and in the pros, and we all know in high school and all that. But TCU went against them. Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter. Shedeur Sanders on the Browns now. He should have been, obviously, that's a whole another conversation. He should have been a first-round quarterback. And then Travis Hunter, it's a top 3 pick. Okay, he is on the Jaguars. Had those 2 players. Built that organization back up. TCU faced them the first year, and his coaching, and they lost to Colorado. And people were thinking it could be like that again. You never know. And TCU wanted to get that taste out their mouth. TCU said, no, we got to come in and come hard, right? They got to do their thing early, okay? This is a good team, TCU is, right? Hoover, the quarterback, he's great. This dude is accurate. He can spin that ball with the best of them. He can spin that ball with the best of them. And I've seen him play a lot. So they seen it. And they decided to learn a lot of things about, they just went all over. They had to learn about Nick Saban. They had to learn because the players on the team, they didn't know what they were going to see. TCU didn't know what they were going to see. So they figured it out, and they did a good job. They did a fantastic job. After the opening drive, when North Carolina ran down the field, basically, made a lot of plays, got that touchdown, it was domination from there. It was 48-14. It was domination. Okay? It's a whooping. TCU is going to be great in the Big 12. They're going to compete. North Carolina can come back, right? They got 2 games to get better before, I believe, they play Clemson. Okay? Before they play Clemson. That is going to be important to see where, after that TCU game, how much better did they get? All right, after these 2 games, you get better, you win these games, you look impressive, you get better, and then you go against Clemson. Okay? You go against Clemson, and you see how you going to compete against Clemson. Okay? You gotta fight and see how that go. You got to show improvement in that game. That game's important. Even if they lose, right? Because that's going to be hard to do. That's going to be hard to win, right? That's going to be so difficult to beat Clemson, okay? But you see how much improvement he's dealt with, and you'll be fine. You'll be definitely fine, right? If they look like they improved and everything like that, and they're getting better, and they're competitive, and they're competing, then North Carolina is going to be fine this year. Now, if they don't, and they just get blown out the door, there's going to be some growing pains there, though. But I'm telling you, North Carolina is going to be fine. Coach Belichick is going to figure this stuff out. That's a legend. I trust legends all the time. You know, I trust the Jordans, the LeBrons, the Kobes, the Kareems, the Tom Bradys, right? The Deion Sanders, right? I trust the Serena Williams, the Mayweathers, right? I trust Simone Biles. I trust legends to do legendary things all the time. I trust them, right? I trust these players and coaches, right? Like Bill Bellichack, other great legendary coaches as well, not just in basketball, football, but in basketball as well. Like, the Bill Parcells, man, the Mike Tomlins, just different coaches like freaking Phil Jackson, okay? Steve Kerr, right? Greg Popovich, different coaches, right? From all sports, players and coaches, and Jim, you gonna figure it out. And Coach Bill Belichick is gonna figure that out. He's gonna figure it out. He's gonna be fine. He's gonna have a great career there in North Carolina. Okay, he's gonna be there for as long as he want to be there. That's really the truth. Okay, and he took over for a legendary coach in Mac Brown, who's one of the greatest coaches of all time as well. He's a legendary coach. Coached at different spots. But I'm telling you, he's going to be fine and he's going to be perfect. He's going to be fine, man. He's going to be good. Now, this season, though, is already starting off right. Think about it. It's already starting. Week 0 to me was already like, oh, that's a great week. It's starting. It's good stuff. Then week 1, it officially arrived and said, we're here. Okay, in college football. It's going to be a magical year, everybody. It's going to be so magical that I personally cannot wait for it. It's so magical. The teams are going to be better. You're going to see so many upsets. You're going to see so many magical moments. You're going to see so many magical plays. I know college football is magical. College football is special. But I'm telling you, after these first 2 weeks of me watching these players, watching Michigan play with Underwood playing, watching even California, their freshman quarterback was amazing, man. If you watched After Dark and watched that night, he was amazing that game. He started off great, okay? Saying a redshirt freshman, okay? The Guy Carr at Notre Dame, right? Was the college game with these young players at quarterback, receiver, defense, offense. These players are going to make the game even more blossom, especially with the NIL and all that stuff. It's going to be a magical year this year and beyond. It's going to be special, okay? A lot of fantastic things are coming for college football, guys. It's going to be special. Man, I'm telling y'all right now, that's going to be special. Another thing to wrap it all up, too, tonight, the NFL is basically starting, guys. The NFL is starting. The Eagles versus them Cowboys. That is going to be a fun matchup. That's going to be a fun matchup. It's going to be a special matchup, and it's going to be a legendary matchup in this regard in terms of like how impactful the game is with the ring ceremony, all that stuff like that. And we're going to see how Dak Prescott plays. You know he's going to be special, going to sling that ball. If he's healthy, he's going to sling that ball. You know, he does that all the time. He does his thing, right? He's a beast. Since he's been in college, he's been good. Okay? And then you got Jalen Hurts. Okay, people have been disrespecting him. Shout out to Cam Newton. Talking crazy, saying he ain't a top 10 quarterback, all that goofy stuff. He still got stuff to prove. Jalen Hurts is a real special quarterback. That is not only a top 10 quarterback, he's a top 5 quarterback. Jalen Hurts is accurate. Jalen Hurts makes all the throws. Without Jalen Hurts, he's the engine. Okay? Without Jalen Hurts, a lot of the players are not recognized. They're great players, but they're not recognized as the players they are now when it comes to top 5, top 3, all that. Saquon Barkley dealt with injuries. He was more healthier now with the Eagles. But injuries is hard, man, especially with running backs. Injuries can come, right, and go. Saquon Barkley is now back to where we all knew he was going to be. We all believe he was going to be coming out of college at Penn State. He's a special running back, and he's going to be a Hall of Fame running back one day. And Jalen Hurts helped facilitate that. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, come on now. Goddard. They are great receivers that were not recognized respectfully. When they were, when they didn't have a Jalen Hurts playing. Okay. Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl has been magical both times, and they were both against the Chiefs. He outplayed Patrick Mahomes, one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen in the history of football, let alone NFL football, guys. That player special, Jalen Hurts is. He's going to be special. He is that dude. He's going to win more Super Bowls before he retires. Okay? That guy's special, and he's going to show it this year. I'm telling you, he's going to show it this year. Okay? Micah Parsons got traded. That's a big news, too. He got traded to Green Bay. So, Dallas is not going to have him either. Okay? Dallas is not going to have him either. So, we're going to see if they can get sacks, because every year I believe he was at least getting 12 sacks his first 4 years. Each year he got at least 12 sacks a season. Last year he missed some games. But I'm telling you right now, they're going to miss him because he can generate those sacks. A lot of players, like I believe Bland, the corner, he had a lot of picks, okay, his first few years. That's mostly because of that D-line forcing the quarterback, and Michael Parsons is part of it, forcing the quarterback to rush, get the sacks, throw it out, and he picking that thing off, going to 6, going to the house, going to the crib. That's the truth, okay? Michael Parsons is that dude. He did ask for a trade. I think part of it was simple with Michael Parsons, right? We all know part of that reason. Jerry Jones was doing some funny stuff that he should not be doing. He felt like he had an agreement with Michael Parsons. You had that agreement without his agent. That's kind of weird. Now, it's not like Lamar Jackson. Lamar technically doesn't have like a traditional type agent. I think his mom might be his agent. I could be mistaken. I apologize if I am. But he doesn't have an agent that's more traditional of an agent through agencies and stuff like that. That's one thing. But Michael Parsons is that agent, right? So I don't know why you're going around the agent to talk to Michael Parsons. But Jerry Jones has done goofy stuff like this before. You know his track record, man. The last about 30 years, man. Since he basically been the owner of the team, he's done some goofy stuff, firing Jimmy Johnson, head coach Jimmy Johnson, legendary at Miami, the big U, you understand? And then legendary winning 3 Super Bowls with the Cowboys, okay? Most of the Super Bowls came from him, came from their teams, That's the truth. That's the truth, okay? America's favorite team, Coach Jimmy Johnson is one of the main reasons why they're considered America's favorite team. And you fired him, you pick and choose, like you've held on paying players and waited till the last minute, and then now you you paying even more than what you probably could have got away with paying them, right? Just bad business. Okay, overpaying. You might even be really you overpaying players too, so you don't have the Michael Parsons on the team because you're trying to screw him instead of paying him what he really does deserve, and he deserves that money. He really do, for real. He definitely deserves it. So yeah, it's Jerry Jones has always been this way. He's always been this way. So I can't wait to see how the Cowboys do. He needs to me, I know he owns the team. He needs to not be a GM no more. I'm just being quite frank. He needs to stop being the GM. So I think they'll be better when that happens. Way better when that happens. And they will. But now, to me, I don't know if they're going to be in full blown rebuild. But I can't wait to see how the Cowboys play. The Eagles are, to me, they're the Super Bowl favorite, right? For me, I believe they're the best team in the NFL right now. I think they can win a Super Bowl this year. Could they three-peat? They have a chance to three-peat. They got the talent. They got the depth. I know the Chiefs last year, they had dealt with some injuries. Some players were inconsistent a little bit. I know Kelsey was just a little bit inconsistent the last few years, but he's going to be fine. Kelsey, I think he's going to be good, and stuff like that. So, and Patrick Mahomes is going to be that dude. So I think, so they had a chance to three-peat. They still had a chance even with all that stuff, but then they ran into the Eagles in a rematch. So I think the Eagles, if they stay healthy, they're most likely going to win this year. And then if they stay healthy and be cool, I think they have a chance to three-peat, right? I think the first NFL team never three-peat. That would be magical. And then nobody could sit there and disrespect Jalen Hurts no more. Matter of fact, if he retired if he three-peated with all the accolades he has in the NFL right now and the stuff he's done in the NFL, he'll probably be in the Hall of Fame if he retired at that moment. Let's be honest, right? But no one would disrespect, hopefully, right? No one would disrespect Jalen Hurts. The critics, man, say, oh, he got a good team, that's why he won. Oh, really? Then a lot of people ain't that good. Tom Brady had legendary teams as well. There's a lot of quarterbacks, Joe Montana, right? John Elway, okay? There's a lot of quarterbacks that had legendary players on their teams. So if you're going to hold Jalen Hurts accountable because he has a lot of players on his team, then we got to hold almost every quarterback accountable throughout history, okay? Especially the ones who won Super Bowls who win the Hall of Fame right now. So Jalen Hurts is that dude. We're going to stop, man. He's that dude. He's going to show up. And then, this season starts there. That season starts there, man. I'm going to recap that game in another video as well, too. What I'm also going to do is talk about the Chargers and the Chiefs in that next video as well, in the next episode, man. In the next episode, right? Episode 2. That is going to be a fun game as well. That's going to be a fun game, all right? That's going to be a real fun game as well, guys. I'm pretty excited for the channel. I'm pretty excited for the football season. I'm pretty excited on what I'm going to bring to y'all. I hope y'all enjoy these videos. I really do. I'm not going to ask for much as long as y'all support the channel. Subscribe, like, comment, share the video if you want to. Hit the notification bell. Leave your thoughts on the video down below. Okay? Give feedback. Right? Say, hey, man, maybe you could do this. Maybe you can get this thing for the channel. Maybe you can do this for the channel. Whatever, man. I'm open to all ears. I'm ears open to everything, right? I appreciate everybody watching the video. I appreciate everybody enjoying the video. Tonight, enjoy the game. It's going to be a special game tonight. Eagles versus Cowboys. All right? I'm telling you, I believe it's going to be fun. I believe it's going to be a good game. I think people are going to make some good plays tonight on NBC. I believe the game is on NBC. Okay? It's going to be on NBC. This game is going to be fun. Okay? And y'all better be ready for the college football season and the NFL season. Okay? Be careful and watch out for both of them because it's going to be fun. Hey, another thing. If you can help it, unless you're working, do not leave the couch on Saturday and Sunday. Okay? You might want to find a job that works you in the morning because the nights are going to be tough too on Thursday, Friday nights, okay? Right? The college and the NFL. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. But during the weekend, unless you're working, because you got to get this money, you got to grind hard to get this money. I get that, right? Grind, make legal hustles, baby. Legal hustles every day. Legal hustles. Okay? Do not leave that couch. Do not leave that couch. Don't leave the couch. Okay? It's going to be fun because college football and the NFL season are coming alive, and it's going to be one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen. And it's going to be special. And a lot of people need to tune in and watch. I'm telling you, tune in and watch. It's going to be a great year of football, man. It's going to be a great year of football. I'm telling y'all going to have fun. Again, welcome. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate y'all watching this episode. My name is Isaiah Austin, okay? And this is the podcast/YouTube channel, okay? IDA, King's Video Production. IDA, King's Video Production. Okay? I am pretty excited for the season. Okay? I want to thank everybody for watching, and I hope y'all enjoyed the video tonight, and I hope y'all enjoyed the episode. Appreciate y'all, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.